What can Tantric sexuality offer to you? Is there anything you can learn that you couldn't work out all by yourself? Well, let me tell you a little bit about the field of Tantric sexuality. It's really a science, although it's also kind of spiritual practice, maybe even some would say a religion. It's also a science. In fact, Osho said that Tantra is the science of turning ordinary lovers into soulmates. So what is it exactly, and what might it have to offer you? Well, Tantric sexuality is really about learning how to take our sexuality to another dimension. Have you ever had the thought in your head, I wonder if there's more to it than this? So, of course, most of us have found some kind of pleasure in sexuality, although not everybody. There are still some who have not experienced orgasm, who have pain during intercourse. There are some who are really like, what is the fuss all about? Whereas for others, they've found some kind of pleasure or at least some kind of release. But they might still be feeling like, could there be more to it than this? So in which case, Tantric sexuality has a lot to offer you in any of those situations, because Tantric sexuality is really about taking our intimacy to another dimension. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, most of us think of sex as a physical thing, or at least that's how most of us are raised. We think about two bodies, man, woman, two men, two women, whatever. We think about two bodies or more getting together and having some kind of intercourse or pleasuring each other, and possibly some kind of release. Tantra, however, thinks of sexuality mostly in terms of energy, which is not a concept that we're generally used to talking about in Western sexuality. So what is energy? Is it a kind of woo-woo thing where you're going to see rainbows and feel dolphins or whatever? No, actually, energy, of course, is exactly what you think of it as, like having more energy, having more vitality. That's one aspect of energy. That energy is also the buzzing, humming, vibrating of getting turned on. Now, generally, we're not that conscious about what we do with this energy, so we often build it up and then ejaculate or have a climax and then release it back out again. That's a common thing to do with this energy. Others, of course, repress that energy because they feel guilty about it, or they're not quite sure what to do with it. They're terrified of intimacy. So there are also people who fully try and like bottle it, push it down, distract themselves with some kind of addiction, or channel it into porn or fantasy, or, try to get rid of this energy. In Tantra, they understood that this energy is the most potent energy we can possibly have. This is the energy that can create a child, it can create new life. Well, what if we can learn how to harness that energy, gather that energy, and instead of kind of contracting and then ejaculating or climaxing it out of the body, what if we can kind of expand and let that energy up into our body through all of our different layers, like up out of the genitals? What if we can pull that energy to the heart and crack our hearts open and feel more love than we dreamed was possible? What if we can bring that energy up and explode in the brain like a shower of light, have our mind literally blown, enter into states of bliss, absolute expansion and bliss? And what if we can pull that energy all the way up, even out of the top of our head, and connect to the cosmos and feel interconnected with all that is, and have an incredible cosmic experience during our lovemaking? Well, all of that is possible and more once we learn how to work with energy. And this is an entire science. This is the science of Tantra and Taoism, which is a kind of originated in China. It's like a cousin of Tantra. And these paths really learned how to source that energy so we can feel more turned on, not just by a lover, but by life itself. That we can learn how to breathe with that energy, expand around that energy, also penetrate our consciousness into that energy. Because a lot of times we're just not conscious with it. We just kind of like try to get rid of it. We feel it and we look for an outlet and we get rid of it. But in Tantra, we actually want to say yes to this energy and then learn how to fill ourselves up with it, so our entire life is energized. So in fact, Tantric sexuality can be practiced through lovemaking with another person, through self-pleasuring on your own. But also it can just be an energetic practice that makes you feel like you're making love with all of life as you're walking along. You're just feeling juicy and alive and amazing, because your sexuality is an incredible gift to discover, to own, and to claim. to take back, so you're not just playing out some sexuality you learned from Hollywood or from porn or from somewhere else, but you're taking back your true sexual blueprint, your true expression, which is very creative and fun and makes us feel alive and makes us feel like we're really in our truth and our true expression. There's also a connection between our sexuality, our sovereignty, and our power. And today, more than ever, this is really important. In a time when we're really questioning authorities and power structures and systems, it's super important to find our own inner power. That's not a power over someone else or power under someone else. It's an inner power. And sexual energy, as I said, is powerful. So when we can start to activate that energy and own it and embody it and hold it and feel it and become present and conscious with it, we also start to embody our true power and get really in contact with our authenticity, our sovereignty, our core, our center. And we need that now, maybe more than ever. So if you're interested in any of these topics and more, then please join us in December 10th, 11th and 12th on livetantra.com. Our next symposium is going to be the Tantric Sexuality Symposium. We're super excited about this. We've brought experts in this field together for you to deliver all kinds of fascinating topics, whether you're single or in a couple or multiple dating or polyamorous or wherever you're at on your spectrum of sexuality, whether you fully enjoy it and want to learn more, whether you don't really get sexuality and want to see if there's anything in it for you, we have all of it there for you. So please join us. It's going to be full of informative classes, practices, breath work, all held in a very, very safe space. There will be sharing circles if you wish to come and chat with other participants about what you're learning and what you're realizing, or to ask questions to the facilitators and teachers. So come join us, check out the incredible lineup and schedule that we have, and I hope to see you there.